What is up, knife community? This is Blade Love coming at you from the Sharpest Edge, and you are with me in the man cave. Today, I am going to be actually doing the ZT0350 modification video. It's been a while since I got my hands going good enough to actually perform the tasks I have to do for this video. So the items I will need for this project: a good parts mat, and I have like a million of these from Smoky Mountain Knife Works past orders. You'll of course need your ZT0350. You will need a good EDC knife tool from Off Grid Knives. This is the one that I prefer. Of course, you will need your replacement grips. These are from VZ, Hyena Brown, and they include extended pocket clip screws because I think their scales are just a tad bit wider, but we'll find out. Of course, I never go anywhere or do anything without my Ballistol, best preservative and lubricant you can get, and standard shop paper towels. Give me a moment to set up. Be right back with you in a moment. So I was going to originally go down to the shop and do this, but I feel more comfortable in my man cave for small projects that don't require drilling, sanding, and all of that. Of course, I set up the tooling area with the paper towels, the Ballistol, and that my little boxes off to the side, and the mat set up, organized, and ready to go. Now for this project, I take the knife apart with it fully open and in the locked position. Takes the tension off the spring so that parts don't get flying. So I'm going to take a moment and remove the first scale. So for this particular blade, I will be using size 8 for the pivot in the Torx and size 6 for the frame screws with my tool over here. I've decided to remove the pocket clip first. So we'll just take that, set the pocket clip aside, and I'll grab the screws and place them over on the bag. And with the pocket screws and clip off, and this is difficult doing one-handed, I can start removing the screws, and they are tight, so I'm going to have to put this down and do it regular way. Be back in a moment. After removing the frame screws, I place them aside over here. And be doubly cautious that on the other side, there are the miniature nuts, so you got to be very careful not to lose them. So I'm going to start removing the pivot. Now that the pivot's removed and placed over here, we can now start to remove each layer. Take the scale. And I'll just put that over on the towel there. And then we have the actual action here. This is the action spring that makes it. And it looks pretty interesting. So we're going to just remove that. Place that over here with the screws. Very gently. Okay. Remove this little guy. Spine. Placing them very carefully. And there's the washer and the blade. I'm going to switch hands a minute because this is the interesting part. I'm going to, since this is not just a one-handed operation, I'm going to go forward and remove this and just wipe everything down and be back in a moment. So there are the scales. Here are the scales I'm going to be putting on in place of them. It's amazing how simple washers and the back spacer, frame screws, pivot screws, actuating spring for the speed safe. Everything's so simple yet elegant. I love knives. So the real pain in the butt was actually removing the little attachment studs from the original grip plates to the Hyena Brown and then getting them straight in the holes and making sure that they were secured so that the frame screws could attach properly. So I'm hoping it's going to work. So we'll see after I get the other side on here. Oh yes, 1:31 in the morning. See how quickly it escalated. I'm even out of paper towels. I've never been out of paper towels. Ballistol, tools, even some serious hammer hardware, including X-Acto knife, and there she is. This knife has learned not to fuck with a machinist and a gunsmith. So I will be back with a few closing thoughts. Sorry that I could not do the whole takedown and setup video, but I'll show you the action and everything that is done, because I couldn't possibly do it while filming it, unfortunately, with one hand. So I definitely have learned from this experience that I need a camera stand of some kind, so I'll have to look at those. So, like I said, I'll be back in a few moments for some closing thoughts. So, what have I learned from the experience? That not even the best fit grips or scales will not require some kind of help or mod along the way. The first problem I ran into was the octagon pivot portion of the rear. I had to X-Acto out some imperfections in the G10 and get that taken care of. The second issue was the studs were really sunk into the old grips. I didn't want to destroy the old grips, so I actually used another screw, put it in, and then pressed it down onto my mat, thus pushing it out of the grip, and it worked well, so I was able to recover them. Then I had to replace them into here so that they would fit very nicely. Second issue. Now the third issue was a real pain. After I did the modification of the pivot, there wasn't enough space to get it to go together. So I had to take the whole knife apart, readjust it, take a little depth out, and it is now flush to where it should be. It caught the threads, everything lined up. It really turned out nice. Show you the back here first. Here's the front. Back spacers back in line, and look at the lineup on this. It really got nice. The blade is perfectly centered. I love it. I love it. And the action, crisp. No blade play whatsoever. And I think that Hyena Brown looks kind of sexy on this knife. Then again, it's 1:36 in the morning, so anything at this point is going to look sexy after working on it for this long. And I even took a break with Mrs. Blade to go to karaoke, and we were supposed to get back at around 8 or 9, but we got back more like 11:30, 12, and I've been working on this project ever since because I am a stubborn SOB and I get her done. So I love it. VZ grips on a ZT knife, 0350TS Tiger Stripe. Really just feels good. I'm pleased. Now, I know tomorrow morning I'm going to flick her open and I'm going to probably do a bunch of just little touches here and there, but I'm not really sure because she's really locking up well. The pocket clip is perfect. And thank you, VZ, for the screws, the pocket clip screws, because they worked much better. They did. Only problem was they weren't Torx. They were Allen. But that's okay. They were free, and they were a gift. I'm okay with that. No, guys, tell me what you think, how she turned out. Can't wait to start carrying her again. Oh, so this is one tired ass blade love coming to you from the Sharpest Edge in the man cave. Wow, I'm exhausted. But you all have a great rest of your weekend. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sleeping in tomorrow. I wanted to go to church, but at 1:38 in the morning right now, I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. We were also supposed to go out to a couple of things out in the community just to go around, do some shopping and sightseeing of a different area. And I'm not sure about what time we'll get started on that, but I'm tired right now. But it is well worth it. Well worth it. So I want you all to have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and always remember, be good to yourself, but most importantly, please be good to one another. This is Blade Love out for now.
You got the sharpest edges I've ever seen.